Alright, what's up people? Back for the second video of the day and period. Get right into it. Obviously, raising it up with the ace-10 on the button. In these sort of spots where most people understand that I'm probably c-betting most all ace-king, X rainbow boards in these spots, I sometimes tend to think I can still get more value from a king than some people think. Now, do I think in general most people at low stakes are going to call off two pot-sized bets on the flop and turn with a king X hand on this board? No, I don't. But do I think I can get about 2/3? I do. Now here, what calls me on this river that we have beat? Maybe ace 3, ace 4, ace 6, ace 7, ace 9, maybe king X. I think it's a little too weak to check there. And we get the value. Over 2-to-1 chip lead in one hand, ladies and gentlemen. What did he station us with? I would certainly like to know. He stationed us with king 7. And that kicker is going to play versus like king 9, king 10, king jack, king queen. This guy called us very, very light. So, obviously, when you run into a situation like that, you say, thanks, bro, but the next thing you say is, well, this is not the guy to try and bluff, because he clearly is just not laying it down. Even when you're firing pretty decent sized bets on each street, he's still going to pay you off with second pair, basically nut low kicker. I mean, that 7's going to play against how many other kickers that didn't two-pair that board? I mean, come on, that's just silly. Why would you do that? Here in this spot, generally not necessarily looking for value from the pair of twos, and I don't really try to fall in a habit of quote-unquote protecting my hand the way that a lot of people think that they need to. Because, I mean, let's just say in this spot that he has king 8 on that flop. He really only has like 20%, 22%, 20 to 22% equity against you. So, I mean, you're a pretty good favorite even against two overcards. As played, and also given that this guy told us on the first hand he's a complete station, I really wouldn't agree with turning this into a bluff here. Could be slow playing 3-5 maybe, but I mean, we're blocking that, and I just don't think a guy who did what he did on the first hand is going to all of a sudden be super deceptive by checking two streets. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm not sure. It could possibly be a better line to attack that portion of his range by barreling on both the turn and river, but once again, he's a calling station, and let's just say for some reason he were a good player, which I seriously already doubt. I don't think he would believe we have many aces in our limp range there. So I just think we have multiple reasons why we needed to just give up on that hand. But in hindsight, could we have barreled river, and possibly got him off that hand? I'm thinking even probably him being a station, he's probably not calling pot on turn and pot on river there. So I think we played it correctly, but obviously if we were to see what his two cards there, we're obviously putting maximum pressure there because not too many people are going to call off on each street with second to bottom pair virtually nut low. Well, these happen sometimes. And sometimes your opponent will do that, which is fun. How big do we have to make this raise, or how small can we make this raise to just make close to a pot-sized bet for us to shove on the river? I'm thinking that we could never fold. So if we're not going to fold and we're going to get stacked by, say he has 9-9 or King X, if we're going to get stacked, then we're going to get stacked. So let's add some further value into our lap by at least checking and inviting him to stack off with every single one of his hands that he might fold to a bet. I'm not sure if I worded that exactly concisely, but the chances that he's slow playing 9-9 or King X and then checking both turn and river, I feel are low. I still think it's possible. Like we said, if we're going to get stacked, we're going to get stacked. But if he has a small pocket pair, how much does he have to call? And that's hilarious.